been given a challenge to make content, a piece of content every day for 30 days, video content. And I might translate it into a blog post and then even make a Twitter about it and then stick it up in the Facebook group. This is what's known as content marketing. The idea of creating content marketing for most online businesses is that you create content of value that people will find useful and consume. Nom, 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 nom. And then that will be of value to them, and then you make an offer. At the end, you make people aware that what you do, that a part of what you do is a service or a product that you're selling. Because otherwise you're just giving stuff away for free, and that's called hope marketing. And that doesn't work very well, because I've tried that. And the trap... So the project, if you're not aware of it, Clive Creative, which is a play on Live Creative, or Live Creative. Live Creative, Clive Creative, whichever way you want to look at it. Creativity is, in essence, the essence of life. Like, as Mr. Spock said in Star Trek, change is the nature of the universe. And I think he was right. I know he's right. Everything is in transition, and everything is transforming from one state to another continually. And God, I could go off on a tangent now. I'm not going to. I was just thinking, it's this idea of how information replicates and blends into other bits of information, and then produces different levels of complexity. And actually, it's not a complete deviation, because the style or the type of psychotherapy I practice is founded upon one of the central pillars of it is a development of George Engels, who was a medical doctor, model that he said is biopsychosocial model. That he said health is never just on the biological level. It's also, there's a psychological component to it and a sociological component to it, and I would extrapolate beyond that to an environmental component, and even a spiritual component of where is your place within the universe. But that's going a lot further along. But it gives you an idea of the scope of what this framework can contain. So if you change anything at one level of that stack, of the type of psychotherapy I practice is psychosystems analysis, which was developed by Stephen Pauline Richards. So they have developed these ideas further in terms to incorporate different elements of theory from different schools of psychotherapy. I say different schools of psychotherapy, different understandings that have come from Freud, Adler, Jung, etc., etc. Not just etc., etc. But it's going way off the point. It's broken my flow. The reason why is because I want to make sure that credit goes where credit's due. Because I'm scared of the repercussions. It's actually the honest truth. I don't want to offend my teachers. That's fair enough. So this is proving to be useful content, isn't it? Me talking about me again. Great. Where was I? Information exchanging, the universe being created. Right. Wind back. So the thing is, with Live Creative, is I want to help people who want to live from that place of creativity. And that place of creativity can be like a level of conscious creativity. And there will be a link here somewhere to a book that I've written, which is about creativity. 12 Steps to Living a More Creative Life. It's called The Path at the moment, but its name might have changed. So it's a free download, but I get your email as a result, and then I get to send you emails of other information that may or may not be valuable to you. So content marketing, I know I'm jumping all over the place. The idea of content marketing, it might be valuable to you because I'm hoping by illustration of what doesn't work quite so seamlessly that you could go, I could do that better. Content marketing, living a creative life. How do you get to live a more creative life from a point of being a cause in the universe, as opposed to living at the end of being an effect of other people's choices? How many choices can you make where you can live closer to your potential, closer to what your life purpose feels like, closer to feeling more authentic about yourself, within yourself? This is what Live Creative is a project about, to help people working as individuals and as groups to not be at the causal, at the effectual end of other people's actions or choices, but for you. Like, what is the best life for you to be living? The responsibility that you take for your life and the choices that you make to live your life in accordance and in alignment with what you find within yourself. And that's it. Like that's the model. That's it. How you do that and what that means is always going to be individual and specific to you. So it's not a set of how you need to live your life. It's not a set of principles like that. It's a set of tools, tips, techniques. There are theories, but all of which at some level are actionable. Because if they're not, if you're not taking action towards living the life that you want to create or that wants to be created through you, because that's the other really important thing, is you can have a conscious idea of how you want your life to be, and then you can go out into the world and try and make that happen, but it doesn't happen. And the reason it doesn't happen, more often than not, is because either you're going about it the wrong way, you haven't got the right tools that you need, you don't believe that you can learn the things that you need to learn or get the tools that you need in order to live that life, or there's a block somewhere. There's a block, an unconscious block, something that way back told you can't do this, you can't do that, don't be silly, don't thinking for yourself. Whatever it is, it could be any number of things. Normally they show up as an affect, as some sort of emotional state of not believing that you can, or that the world has got it all against you, or you lose your power. You then become, as I said before, at the effectual end of being, or rather than being a causal end in the world. And that doesn't mean that you just get to go out and be whatever you want to be at the expense of everyone else. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's a level of alignment in you and authenticity that is contained. And here's another, this is a term that's come from the Institute for Psychosystems Analysis, psychotherapy that I practice, is the genomic self. This idea that the self is, the genomic self is what's called an imago, like a virtual image, if you like, that is constructed as a result of all the genetic components that you have in you as potential. So if you change where you are in the world, in terms of your environment, or the people that you're with, think about this. When you're with different people, do they ever draw out different sides of your character, different qualities of different parts of your temperament? Do you find yourself being, and it's not about acting differently, although some of us do act differently around different people. It's part of a persona that we can create. Being your most authentic self is that you are always yourself with whoever you're with. But even then, certain people will make you laugh more than others. Certain people will touch something in you somewhere that is different from others, because that's see, I know I go off on tangents, but I'm bringing it back to that point of the universe being creative and everything being an exchange of information, and the biopsychosocial stack is that we all influence each other. We are all part of a system, and we are all systems within that bigger system. And that's all it's going to be for today. It's just a really, for me, as a challenge to get this started. Because my challenge is, well, where do you begin? Where do you begin and where do you find? I do work a lot better if I have a question to respond to, because it gives me a level of focus. Because otherwise my mind is pretty much like, I find it very difficult, because I see that system almost as a totality, to find any point within it at which to begin the journey, to make sense, enough sense for other people to make sense of a part of the whole, without having to extrapolate the whole in order to make sense of the part. So, what can you do to change your life for the better today? One solution is act towards the person that is the better version of yourself. And if you don't know what that is, stick around. Go to the site, Live Creative. Come onto the Facebook group. The site is actually clivecreative.com. I call it Live Creative because that's what it is. It's just Clive Austin's Live Creative. Clive Creative, you get it. I don't labour the point. So that's that. Then there's the Facebook group, and then there's the YouTube account. This is going to be the first video on there, and it will get replaced in time as I get better at doing this stuff. But that's my content for today. Oh, what's the actionable step? Be a cause in your life rather than an effect. And if there's only one thing that you can do today where you feel like you made a difference, and it doesn't even have to be in your life, it could be to someone else's life. Choose to help someone else. But then you are a cause. They're not just in your life, but in the bigger system. I missed a point of information that some of you might be going, he didn't finish that sentence. And that is, it's easy for us to know consciously, or believe on a level, on a conscious level, that we know what we want, or that we know what our potential is. And that can be a limiting factor, because, as I said before, when we change environments, when we put ourselves into different environments, we are different with different people, we're different in different environments in the world. Example, if you want to build a log cabin, are you more likely to come up with the idea of building a log cabin in a desert or in a forest? It's a kind of very clunky example, but it's quite useful. It's like whatever's in your environment as a resource is going to influence what you feel like your potential is, because that resource is going to be the thing that generates your ingenuity or your insights. How are you going to use the material or the things that's at hand? That's one way of changing. The other way of changing is adapting your attitude to the environment. I'll get onto this in other posts. But the point beneath that is that a vast swathe of all of us, by far and away the largest component of all of us, and this is another thing that I learned through training in psychosystems analysis. They'd been there before, but I hadn't quite put my finger on it, is that what is your relationship to the parts of yourself that you don't know yet? And because there's parts of yourself that you will never know, in terms of what you're unconscious of, like bits of it come into consciousness, bits of ourselves come into consciousness, and we don't need to worry too much about all the stuff that we don't know, that remains unconscious, that we remain unconscious of, unless it's getting in the way. Like, you can trust your unconscious to regulate all that material. It's absorbed. Everything that you've seen and heard and thought all your life kind of gets absorbed into the unconscious at some level, and it can return in different ways depending on how well we've processed it. This is why consciousness and awareness is really important, because the more we are conscious and aware of the stuff going in, the more we can consciously process it, like to a level, as long as just being aware that we're thinking of subliminal advertising, for example. Letting things get in there that we just accept without questioning is part of it. I hope that's been of help. If you want help untangling stuff, psychotherapy, I can help with that. If you want help with personal development consultations, I can help with that. I also have a group coaching program which is called Creative Instinct, where a group of people get together and they work through the baseline of trying to understand what their authentic self is, what their life potential is, what their life purpose might be in accordance with that potential, through better understanding their instincts, and then creating the creative instinct to create your own life, as much as you can within the context of everyone else who's also creating their lives. So doing it in a group is beneficial. And then I have a one-to-one coaching program, which is full spectrum coaching. 12 weeks intensive course in which I take you from being wherever you are at in that in those stages, and help you get to a place ultimately where you identify the goal that you identify. It has to be a reasonable goal within 12 weeks. But we can set, even if it's something that we can't achieve specifically within that 12 weeks, then it's at least forming a plan and making a plan of how you get to where you're trying to get to. And more than that, understanding why you want to get there. Because it might be that you want to get there for reasons that are based in old patterns, old beliefs, that your potential is actually being limited. Because you don't know what and I don't know what my full potential is. I don't know. This is part of what I'm demonstrating here. I don't know. I'm exploring and I'm experimenting, and then I will find out, and I'm going to fuck up along the way. I'm going to make mistakes, which is why I haven't edited this video, because that's what it takes to really uncover your potential. Is to do that, is to engage. That's the point. Engage. And do all those things. And then for those people who want to just participate and don't need any of those services yet, or who may never need them, you're welcome to. Just let's, help each other as much as we can in the ways that we can. It's kind of the baseline. So there is scope for a community. This isn't just about selling stuff. This is about trying to create value and trying to create a community around these ideas where people can help one another. And for those people who need that extra help, who want that implementation, and who feel aligned with me, and we feel aligned together, and we can work together, brilliant. I want that. I enjoy that. In fact, I love it. It's what I was made for. So, and I'm made for this, fucking up YouTube videos. I do say fucking up rather a lot, haven't I? Never mind. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, those people who've managed to make the entire 20 minutes. I appreciate you. I thank you very much. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you'd like to like the video, subscribe to the video, hit the bell icon. This is what I just hear everyone else say, I'm just repeating it. Then all do that. Join the Facebook group. It's a bit more informal there. It's a bit more playful. It's not like a serious community. Just share things that are generally creative. At the moment, might be more than that. Oh, and if you have any questions, I love the questions. So if I can respond to your question, and if you want to do it anonymously, you do it anonymously. And then that way, at least by helping you, I'm helping others, helping myself at the different levels. We'll get there. Fingers crossed. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Bye. I haven't stopped. I didn't stop the video. Nope, don't want to delete the video. Right, one more time. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.